You remember when David had sinned and he said, God sent a prophet to David, and he said to David, he said, tell David he's got three options. He can fall into the hands of his enemies, he could deal with pestilence, or he could fall into my hands. David thought about that. He said, no, I want to fall into the hands of God, because if I cry out to God, God might have mercy on me. In Matthew chapter 14, verse 14, it is said of Jesus that when he went ashore, he saw a large crowd and felt compassion for them. And then he healed their sick. A good example of the spirit of compassion is the parable of the Good Samaritan in Luke chapter 10, verses 30 through 36, where this man gets beaten up, robbed, and left for dead, and two other men traveling that same road, a priest and a Levite, saw the man, looked at him, passed on the other side because they didn't want to get their hands dirty. But a certain Samaritan, Jesus said, who was on a journey, came upon him, and when he saw him, he felt compassion. He could not continue on his way, knowing that this man was in such bad shape and could easily die in the ditch. That's what God did for us. We were that man lying in the ditch, and he sent Jesus. One good example of how not to show compassion is not to do what the President of the United States did when he went to Puerto Rico. He was there shooting baskets with paper towels. Bam. 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 The whole world saw that. The President of the United States of America tells people who have no water, no food, the whole island is devastated, and he says, you owe us money. We can't fix anything around here. You owe us money. I want to reiterate that those of us who profess faith in Christ must get rid of those underlying feelings about others in the church that can poison relationships and continue to do so generation after generation. We got to displace the poison of indifference with the grace of compassion. How do you do that, Pastor? Well, you got to take a look at yourself. Got to look at how you respond to people, and then put yourself in other people's place and feel their pain, and every now and then take that sick and shut-in list and go and visit somebody that you may not know. It might give birth to a new ministry or bring a new friend in your life. Be considerate of others, and don't be too hasty to put people in their places. We got to learn how to hurt when other people are hurting. We got to learn how to hurt when people in the church are hurting. See, the ministry of caring is not just a pastor, deacon, deaconess, or pastoral care ministry thing. It's a body ministry. It's all of us. And my biggest problem is that there's so many of all of us that I can't get around to everybody's situation. So I may be able to deal with your situation here for about 20 minutes. Because there are 5 others right behind you. And I got to go here and go there and do this and do that. But there are a whole lot of us who can kind of come alongside people and stay with them as they walk through something. Write this passage down, Romans 12, verse 10. It says, be devoted to one another in brotherly love. And then the apostle says, give preference to one another in honor. You know, tenderheartedness is all of us caring for each other. It's all of us loving each other. It's all of us supporting each other. It's all of us praying for each other. It's all of us holding up each other. It is all of us being concerned about each other. It is all of us feeling for each other as we kind of come alongside one another and share the burdens of life.